Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by Ben Tajnai, professional vocalist and official National Anthem Singer for the Milwaukee Bucks, Brewers, and even the Greenbay Packers.
Yes, sir.
I finally got a hold of him. But it's awesome. He's here with me today. So without further ado, how you doing, Ben?
Good, man. I'm happy to be here. This is the place to be, man. This is awesome.
I love it. It's my element.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I love it.
How you been? How's life?
Oh, I'm living the dream, brother. It's just it's a constant grind. 4 kids later.
Yeah,
I need a nap.
I got 4 too, and they run crazy.
Man, it's a lot of work, but it's good. It's good fun.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the playoffs started. You ready for that?
Dude, in a couple days. I'm feeling really good about them this year. They look better even now than they did when they won the whole finals. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good ride, I think.
Do you know what I find crazy?
What?
Is that Brooke Lopez came off of a surgery and played better ball than he did his first year with us. And he snapped his first year with us, man.
He did.
That was the factor that we needed.
Right. I almost wonder if they gave him like a bionic back or something. Because that dude, like he's up for Defensive Player of the Year now.
Yeah.
He's been playing his butt off.
How many blocks he's had, man?
I think he's got so much more than the second place. I know that.
Yeah, man.
He's a monster. I love watching him.
It's crazy. Yeah. Well, we love Milwaukee. That's the common factor here.
That's right.
All right. Well, let's jump in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, where were you born?
All right, so I was born in Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay. Okay.
So a little bit more in the suburb.
Pewaukee.
Shout out Pewaukee, brother. Yeah, I was born there. That's where J.J. Watt was. That's where he's from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was born in that area. I didn't go to that high school. I went to Arrowhead High School. Shout out Arrowhead.
Arrow. The Arrow.
The Arrow. That's right. But I grew up in Pewaukee and I've been basically there my whole life, so it's been a pretty good time. Yeah.
How was your upbringing there?
Yeah, it was good. So we had I grew up in a family with 6 siblings, me being one of 6, I should say.
Okay.
And it was we all were just into sports, man. And we all sang, believe it or not.
Well, dude,
singing sportsman.
Well, it's crazy, you know what I mean? You sing now, man. You got an amazing voice, man.
I appreciate that.
I will give you that.
Well, I studied voice in college, actually. I went to a college in Chicago called Roosevelt University, or Chicago Center for the Performing Arts. For sure. And, I got a lot of student loan to back it up. But,
there you go.
But it was a good education, and it kind of helped me hone my craft. Yeah. Just to make it like sustainable. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we know you sing.
Yeah.
What type of hobbies were you into growing up?
Yeah. So the main thing, sports was a big one. I played basketball. I was a little thinner back then, but I played basketball all growing up, and I was real into watching the Bucks. But I was always a diehard Packer fan, so I'd watch these Packer games, and my week was my attitude during the week was based off of how they did, whether they won or lost.
For sure.
So it was a lot of me like. Either I was really depressed or really happy.
I got a shout out to a buddy of mine. His name is John Hagan.
Okay,
and he's the only friend that I have that, like how with you, it determines his mood. If he loses, I love you, John, but it's like.
Yeah, one of the stories was 2014, whatever the year is, they lost to the Seahawks in that NFC Championship game, that real bad one.
Man.
I was at my bro's house. Shout out my brother Steve. We were at his house, and we were making Super Bowl plans.
Yeah, and
then it turned into me laying in the snow with my Aaron Rodgers jersey on the snow at the side of me. I was shirtless, laying there in the snow.
Yeah,
I lived there for like a half an hour. I was so sad.
One thing I'll give. Because I happen to be a Jets fan.
Oh, God.
I'm everything Milwaukee. I have everything Milwaukee. But when it comes to football,
you love
Jets. No, but I mean,
that's almost worse for you, though.
Yeah, with Rodgers on the way, if that happened, man, I don't want him. I don't want him.
You're kind of done with him at this point.
No, well, the fact of the matter, you're going to blow all this money on a guy that's just going to retire.
Maybe 1 year. Yeah, he may be there 1 year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
I the one thing I'll give to the Green Bay Packer fans, is how diehard they are.
Oh man, dude, it's
Man.
like, it's like obviously I sing all these games. It's a blessed life. I get to sing a lot of really cool events, but like the first time I did a Packer game, it's just insane what these people do up there. They're camping out the whole night before and everything else. It's wild.
Talking about Packers, my first game with my buddy I just brought up, John, he took me after I found out I was having twins.
Oh, nice.
My babies. He took me to a 2014 season opener, Jets against the Packers at Lambeau.
And who took it?
Oh, man, let's not talk about that. But the cool thing about that was I got to watch Michael Vick play.
Oh, dude, Vick.
And I used to.
That dude was insane. Yeah, how can you not?
How can you not? Like growing up, man, you see that man, dude.
You'll never. I don't know if we'll ever see anything like that again.
No, you won't. I mean, he's in Baltimore. I forgot.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. He reminds me, but
Vick's arm was better though. Yeah. That dude was just a monster.
And then he could run.
Yeah, I know. He was the fastest one on the field.
The 2K football.
It was Madden 2004.
Was it? But they had another one too.
Oh, okay.
They had 2K football.
Okay, gotcha.
And everything. I always used to run.
I used to use Vick on Madden 2004. That was like, if you look it up, that was like the most legendary Madden player of all time. Yeah. This dude was like juking people and just like constant speed.
It's crazy. But 2004 was a great year for Madden, dude. Yeah, it really had the practice mode where you could do the drills and all that.
Yeah, I always did it too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was, growing up, we did a lot of video gaming. We did a lot of, we had the N64. Yeah. We had the PS2. PS2 was kind of where we got into the Madden.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, Dreamcast. I actually didn't have Dreamcast, but I was an N64 freak. I love like Super Smash Bros. GoldenEye was like
classic.
My mom didn't want me playing it, but I'd always sneak it anyway.
What year did you graduate from high school?
2007.
Buddy, what's up?
Is that you too?
07, baby.
Heck yeah, man.
I'm like, you speaking too much on my language.
We get it, bro.
We get it.
Yeah, GoldenEye was a game.
That was I used to have tournaments. It was GoldenEye, and then it was Halo.
Oh, Halo, of course.
Of course.
I played a lot of Halo 3. I played, I'm not gonna lie, I still game a bit. I got a PS5. Yeah. I do a little bit of I play this game called Destiny. It's like a shooter game.
For sure. I know what it is.
Yeah, and then I play, I still play 2K, NBA 2K.
Okay.
And it's just fun. I play with my kid. My boy Joey is 6 years old, and we play video games together quite a bit.
Yeah,
a little bit of Fortnite, a little bit of this and that.
I play Fortnite with my son.
Oh, do you?
Silas.
Nice, very nice, man. Very nice.
But
it's good fun. It's good fun. It's just a nice way to bond.
Yeah, for sure.
So
speak their language.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You get it,
man. So growing up, what's your earliest memory of you finding a love for music?
Yeah,
or just music.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. I think probably like in second grade, all I really ever wanted to do was play ball. I wanted to play basketball. I loved it, man. I just remember loving it. And I then remember my mom being like, my mom sang. So she sang in the church, and she had a really good voice, a soprano. She's still around, but she doesn't sing as much anymore, but she still could sing. And, growing up, she would sing. She'd do that thing where we'd walk through the grocery store and she'd sing real loud to embarrass me. And I'd be like, Mom, my friends might be here. And anyway, and so then in second grade, she made me join like the school talent show. And it was like elementary school and all that. And, I was in second grade. How even old is that? I guess like 7 or something.
Yeah, we were 6.
Is that right? 7 years old? And she wanted me to sing. And anyway, long story short, I ended up singing the Mickey Mouse Club theme song. Like, who's the leader of the club? Who's made for you and me. And I just remember like the reaction of the crowd at the time. I was in second grade. It's not like I was singing great. I mean, I was a second grader, but I just remember the crowd was like so lively about it.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, man, that's kind of cool. Like, so people can actually care about somebody who's good at something other than like basketball or football. So I started to kind of like it, and then she threw me in voice lessons back then. And I just remember, you see, I really liked the girls growing up. Like, I was always like having a crush on girls.
Come on, man.
And I learned at like an earlier age that in the music field, when you're that age, not a lot of boys were looking to sing because it was kind of weird or whatever.
I was in the choir.
Yeah. And so when I started singing solos, I noticed the girls started liking that a little bit. And that's kind of what got me really into it after a bit.
I'll tell you, man, everyone acted like it wasn't cool. Like,
I know.
But I was
funny?
like, dude, I loved music, man.
Yeah.
That's like embedded. It's like how I timeline life, you know?
Well, I almost feel like nowadays, I feel like it's not quite as bad. I feel like there's with TikTok and you know, like and everything else. Like there's definitely boys singing all over the place.
Yeah.
But you know, it was just like it was just. And then I ended up like I still probably like basketball more than singing. But you know, singing it just was so therapeutic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have your life at school and you have your life at home, which my life at home was great. I'm still tight with my bros and my sisters, and but once I started like singing, it felt like I was able to like pull out my emotions a little easier, like access them a little easier than playing ball. You know what I mean? Like you're playing ball, you're kind of just going hard doing your thing. But when you're singing, it's like you can communicate and portray emotion, and that was like something I really held on to. For a while, you know. So
now you're basically in the mode of you're learning your music.
Yeah.
Your mom was definitely a big influence.
She was huge, yeah.
But who were musical talents that influenced you to gather that passion from within?
So my favorite musical influence at a pretty early age, I love Boyz II Men. I don't know what it was.
My boy!
They were like... man. I was so obsessed with them. Like, I would listen to them every day, man. I had their CD. I had their Legacy Greatest Hits CD, and I would throw that thing in, and I would listen to every track, and I just would sing along, and I'd learn the riffs, and I'd do all this stuff. And so then, you know, I started singing it to girls.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was, and people don't believe me when I say this, but this is really what happened. Like, when I got to my early stages of high school, like when I was like a freshman.
Yeah.
You know, and I was a little shy, but, you know, a freshman boy, awkward, whatever.
03, 04.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know.
I know, bro.
But there was like this, you know, there was a couple of the popular cute girls who I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk to them or not, you know. Yeah. And somehow, like, word got out that I could sing. Okay. And so what these girls would do is, before we had cell phones, they would call my house, and when they would be going through like a breakup or something, I would sing to them over the phone.
My boy was over here. He's the soother.
I was like singing NSYNC and Boyz II Men and Backstreet Boys.
Oh my God.
And I'm telling you, I got calls, and it was just like amazing, and I couldn't believe it was happening.
You know who were one more on the rhythm, melodic side?
Yeah.
All for One.
Oh, dude.
Oh, damn.
I swear.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like my
By the moon and the stars.
You know it, bro. Dude, they were so good. And the other one they did that I loved was I Can Love You Like This. Dude, I used to sing all that. That was like, those are my favorite. Honestly, those were my favorite. Boyz II Men, you know, and All for One. Those were like some of my favorite. Boyz II Men, though.
Yeah.
Man, I just sang them every day. I loved it. Every minute of it. It was such a good time.
Man. Yeah, I mean, it was an era of just like some real in-depth. You're gonna be made tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I love it. I miss it. You know, I still listen to them, and they're still around, Boyz II Men, but you know, they're not making new music really as much. But I still listen to them. I still keep up with them, and I still sing it to my wife every now and again.
Man, so now you're in the mode. Everyone knows your while you were in high school, what was the biggest thing you did as far as taking your music?
Yeah, well, you know, that's what's funny is in high school, it was like my high school at Arrowhead High School in Heartland. There was a theater program there that was called the Broadway Company, and you couldn't really do sports and theater at the same time there because they wanted you to be so invested in both of them. So I was playing basketball. I made the team. I was starting on the freshman team at Arrowhead, which was kind of an accomplishment because they had a lot of cuts. And my sophomore year, I was like, I kind of miss singing, you know, and it's like, but I have to choose now. I got to choose whether I'm going to do basketball or whether I'm going to do singing. It's like, that's a hard choice because I love them both. But I felt like I was a little better at singing than I was at ball. You know, I don't think I was going to make the NBA.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll try out for this program. And so it was like a musical theater program. Yeah. And there was never, you know, it was a group of about 60 kids that had to make it. You had to make it. It was a tryout based thing. And they still have it. They still do it. But I I made it, and I had a really good time doing it, but it wasn't like I was walking around the school and everyone being like, oh, there's the singer guy. It's like, because there were multiple guys singing, there were multiple girls singing. So it was kind of more like, you know, I stood out, I guess, a little bit. I won like vocalist of the year my senior year, but it wasn't like you know, like the whole school knew or anything like that. It was just kind of.
It's crazy too, because now you pick the music, and you know that, you know, with basketball, and how social status where that stands,
big time.
That's pretty brave of you
to
step. Yeah, bro.
That was tough, and I remember my dad being pretty sad because, like, not that he was like disappointed that I was wanting to sing, but I think just more like, you know, he coached me all growing up. You know, he coached me like from 5th grade on. He coached me, and I played a lot of ball. And I think it was just kind of like a dream, sort of not dying, but like, because he had other boys that were younger than me. Yeah. But it was like, it was weird. You know, it was a hard decision to make at the time.
I mean, you know, you go through your whole school playing basketball, and then that 1 year where they do the parent night. You know, I bet he envisioned that, man, dude.
Yeah. Not only that, but like I watched it too, right? Yeah. So like, when I was watching the team, it's like, man, I'm like, I want to be out there, dude. Yeah. Like I did miss it. But I don't regret it, because I think if I don't end up joining that musical theater group, I don't think I go into music for a career. Yeah. I think it's probably on the back burner. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, man, the politics of being in high school at the time we were going, man.
Honestly, though, I got to tell you, it's still similar. Yeah. There's still a lot of politics, because I deal with kids and students and stuff, and it's just there's still a lot of politics.
And I was actually going to move on to that. But what did you further your knowledge in music to get to the point where you do work with kids and vocals and
right? So basically, I once I got my degree, you know, I'll tell you a little bit of the story. It's kind of a longer story, so you know, buckle up. But when I graduated college. From Roosevelt, and I had all the student loan. I had a degree in vocal performance.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, what are you going to do with a degree in vocal performance? That was what I was like, why didn't I think about this when I was like going into it? What am I going to do with that degree? Yeah. And I developed a pretty severe case of like panic disorder and anxiety. And so then I was at the point. Yeah, I know, believe it or not. So this is what's wild. So this is why I say, like, not only did I graduate with a vocal performance degree, I graduated with a vocal performance degree along with anxiety and panic disorder. Yeah. So I'm like, how in the world am I ever going to make this work? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I moved back home to Wisconsin here, because I was in Chicago for college for 4 years. I moved in with my parents. You know, I was a single dude. Yep. And I was pretty depressed, because I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. And basically, I took 2 years and worked at Olive Garden. I served. I slung those breadsticks, man. Those things
are 76, baby.
That's where I worked on 76.
Seriously?
I swear to God. Yeah.
Look at that.
Southridge. That's where I worked. Yeah. 2 years. Shout out Southridge. I worked there 2 years.
The Ridge.
And what happened was nobody there knew I could really sing for a while. I kind of kept it secret, because I was like, I'm not going to sing anymore. I'm going to try to. My goal at that point was I was going to be a manager at Olive Garden, because I had a vocal performance degree. What the heck am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I can't sing because I have panic disorder, you know? Yeah. And so anyway, I ended up, an old buddy of mine asked me to sing. His dad had passed away, and he asked me to sing in his dad's funeral. And I was very reluctant, because I was like, I'm not singing really. I don't know that you want me to do that. Like, I'm not good anymore, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, I decided to do it after a lot of deliberation and talking to my dad and being like, what should I do? I showed up there, I sang. I thought I was pretty average, pretty like kind of garbage. Yeah. And then an old music director came up to me. Shout out Kathy Filer is her name.
Okay.
She
Kathy.
Kathy Filer. And she came up to me and she's like, hey, we're doing this show out in Heartland. And it's called Spam-A-Lot. And it's like this, like, it's like a Monty Python farce. And I'm like, I know nothing about this. I'm like, dude, I like the Bucks. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And she's like, we have this little part. It's not a lead role, but you might want to do it. And I'm like, I don't think so, you know. And anyway, she convinced me to do it. I ended up doing it. I ended up meeting a girl there who turned out to be my wife. That's who I ended up meeting there.
Yeah, I found out the story.
And what was wild about it was I truly was not going to do that show. My dad said, before I went to that show, my dad goes, you know, you're not really doing anything fun right now. You're doing Olive Garden. You don't love it. like, maybe you'll meet your wife at this show. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, right, dude. I know all the girls in there. I'm not going to meet my wife at this show. And it turns out, like, she showed up, and I thought she was cute, and I asked her out on a date. And then we ended up getting married. But along the way, she really pushed me to keep doing music because she heard my voice, and she was like, dude, like, your voice is way too good to be like,
shout out to the wife.
Yeah, Sarah. That's her name. Shout out to Sarah.
I'll tell you, my wife is, man, you see everything in this room, man. If I didn't get the green light, man,
you told me, man.
She's been one of my biggest support for doing what I'm doing.
Dude, that's amazing. Shout out her then, man.
That's what I mean. Like the wives,
dude, you and I got we got a lot of parallels, man. Yeah, because like then what happened was my anxiety and panic was pretty high, still. Even though I did the show, it was a really small part. I had barely any singing or anything. My wife was like, you got to try out for more stuff. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. That was good, whatever. And we weren't married yet. She was my girlfriend at the time. But she's like, and so then anyway, we found out there was this Bucks audition for the Milwaukee Bucks. And she's like, you got to go to this thing. And I'm like, no, dude, like, I'm never going to make that. They're going to look at me and laugh at me. Like, so she ended up making me go. I did this thing where I would go to these auditions. I would tell her I'd go, but I actually just didn't go. I would turn around and go to McDonald's or something.
Yeah,
and then, I would be like, oh, it went well. We'll see what happens. And I didn't actually go. So this time she followed me. She made sure I showed up.
Oh, there you go.
So I went and then that's how the Bucks started. I went there and I auditioned, and
that's beautiful.
Isn't that wild,
man?
And then that's how I got back into singing. And then she's also the one that sort of was like, hey, maybe you can open a vocal studio, like, and teach people how to sing. You have this degree.
Oh, I thought you opened up your own.
Yeah, I got my own studio.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a voice studio. Yeah, so I don't like working at school or anything.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I have my own vocal studio, and I opened up in like 2014 or something.
Props to you.
Yeah, so that's what I did, and then that's what I do now. I teach. My main job is I'm a performer, but then I like to give back. So I'm teaching basically all ages. I have a student who's 80 years old, and I got a student who's 7 years old.
I need to do this.
Let's do it.
Hey, give this man his flowers, dude.
So I'm teaching. So right now I got like 60 students and a pretty significant waiting list. I got like a 2-year waiting list. I've been blessed just from some of the popularity and stuff. A lot of people are trying to get in, which is awesome. And it's good. It's a nice setup for me. I kind of get to make my own schedule, and then they kind of understand if I got to go do a Bucks game every now and again. Yeah. If I got to cancel.
So talk to me. What was the first? What was that audition like? What were the emotions pumping,
dude?
Yeah.
Well, when you sang, did you ever do a solo, or was it more?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I actually, Mr. Counting, if you
shout out
to a music teacher. There was, I think it was my junior year. I legitimately, with my voice, sang over the whole choir.
Did you really?
Yeah, because man.
So you had some pipes then?
I got some pipes,
dude,
bro.
What the heck? Why are you letting them hide?
Man, dude. Well, I did try to do music back in 2016, but,
I get it.
There was one year where he even right after that concert had everyone come into the choir room, and then he's like, I'm gonna press play and tell me what you notice. And the minute I heard the voice, because I was like, but I was like, this is way back.
Yes.
I just felt everyone was there. The keys were there, bro. And
dude,
it was
incredible.
over the whole choir. So it was like,
did you ever like get nervous doing that, or was it kind of just like, nah? You were just good.
Yeah. Well, I strayed away from solos because it was more the once I get into the motion, I can definitely be in front of crowds. But working myself to that moment
is tough.
Is like the most anxiety.
You're preaching to the choir on that one, bro.
Man, you're talking here. So man, walk me through the whole emotions.
So what happened was like when I went to that audition, and actually my mom. So what actually happened? My wife followed me to a lot of auditions for that one, that particular one. She had to work. It was like it was during a day and like during the week, like in a work day. Yeah. And so she works full time. And so she called my mom and asked my mom if my mom would like drive with me in the car to make sure I went.
For sure.
So my mom went with me to that audition, and it was at the Bradley Center.
Good old Bradley.
I know.
Hey,
that's funny.
Salute,
man. God rest its soul.
God rest its soul.
But And when I went in there, it was like American Idol style. So they give you like a number, like they put across your, they put across your chest,
like American Idol.
Yeah, it is. It was wild, man. And then you signed up, and I truly felt like I was out of place. Like I did not feel like, because I had no confidence at that point. I was like, what am I doing here? But and what they do is you actually so they have the people who are in charge of the anthems and whatnot, in charge of the entertainment for the Bucks, who are literally sitting there like a judge panel, like American Idol.
Yeah.
And then you go up there and you sing. And so you can watch everybody else sing. So I think I was like probably 6th or 7th to go.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching these people, and there was this one girl that sang, and she was like really good, and I was like, oh no, like I'm in the wrong place. And I was really nervous, like I was shaking and sweating and all the whole 9 yards, and it was early. Man, who wants to sing in the early morning? I was like,
man, I'd be all sweaty.
I was super sweaty. I was really nervous, but I went up there and I sang, and I truly didn't think I did that well. I really didn't. I thought I was kind of average.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. Like, people are always like, oh, you're hard on yourself. I'm like, no, dude, I'm telling you, it was not that good. And so I left, and they go, and they said, yeah, we'll let you know in like 2 weeks if you ended up making it, And I'm thinking, now I got to wait 2 weeks, and panic about it. And and so I went home, and 2 weeks went by, and I heard nothing, and I'm like, whatever, I tried. And then a week after that, they called, and then my first game was against the Denver Nuggets. They gave me a game against the Denver Nuggets. And at the time, the Nuggets weren't very good, and neither were we. Yeah. But I was like, oh, they're letting me in the door, though.
Yep.
And so I sang, and it went really well, and then they kind of just started calling me ever since. It was just crazy how it happened, though.
What year was this?
That was 2014.
Oh, okay.
2014. Yeah, I think it was 2014. It was either 14 or 15, but it was, and I've been singing ever since. I've been doing, every year I've been singing. So it's been,
I mean, yeah, man. I whenever I reach out to people to come onto the platform, I'm always trying to look for who's really involved with the community.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I'm always shocked that people reply. Like, you replied pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the community, man.
I watch you all over these. You're in the Brewers. You're in the, you know what I mean? Packers. I've been to, not a Packers game where you sang, but I was just recently at the Brewers game this past Saturday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was
not the best game, but but the atmosphere was great.
But watching you there and just like in amazement, then you're in front of me. It's like, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Well, I'm a Wisconsinite through and through, man. And so I love the community, and I'm like a true believer in like giving back, you know what I mean? And I don't take anything for granted at all. And so I really pride myself on not trying to be too cool for anybody at all. Yeah. And obviously you're pretty darn successful yourself, brother.
Thank you.
But either way, like, even if you weren't though, I would still be willing to at least talk. And I just really want to like inspire people, you know what I mean? And let people, and I like everyone to be welcome. I'm like a kumbaya kind of guy. Like, everybody come give me a hug. Like, that's kind of the way I roll.
that's kind of the whole purpose behind the platform. Yeah. Really our children are there in such a crazy time. Like, I legitimately just want to show this is what success looks like. Yeah. Many versions. Mm-hmm. I've said this in many episodes, but it's the truth. Yeah. It's the truth. And you know what I mean? As long as they can see this and have some type of direction, not everything is textbook. Right. Right. Yeah. And in journeys too, like my journey was wild. I mean, honestly, it was like to go from, basically being, I just didn't think I was going to be able to get up off the couch. Because I was just so anxiety riddled and there was no way I was going to sing, you know what I mean? And having panic attacks, just doing nothing. Like that's the kind of anxiety that really sucks when like you don't have like a big test in the morning. You're just panicking over nothing. Yeah. You're just freaking out over nothing. So how am I ever going to be able to perform? How am I ever going to be able to function as like a normal adult, And then, I'm a Christian guy, so I think it's God like helping me through it. But at the end of the day, like it was a weird journey, but somehow I'm here and somehow I'm on like the top of the field, and it's especially for the national anthems anyway. Yeah, and that's honestly something I would have never pictured in a million years. Man, when I think about national anthems, bro, you're the first face that comes to mind.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. That's what I want to be.
Yeah. So you started off with the Bucks.
Yeah. So I started with the Bucks, did a couple games. year.
How did you manage to put your foot in the door with the Brewers?
With the Brewers?
With the Brewers.
Yeah, so, here's the thing. What's really cool about it is like, I'm a connections kind of guy. I love people. I love to talk to people. I love to like
network.
I just like people. I really do. And so when I was with the Bucks, I started to get to know everybody pretty well. Like in the arena, the workers, the people just in charge, and some of the big dogs. And
for sure.
And so after I started, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I love them. They're great guys. The Bucks are great people. I really love them. They're like family at this point. But the one guy that I'll shout out, his name is Johnny Watson. Yeah, Johnny Watson. And he is the executive producer for the Bucks.
Wow.
And he just has had my back a lot at the end of the day. And so I'm not going to lie. I went to him and I was like, I would love to sing for some other, I'm not, you guys are, Bucks are number one, but I'd like to sing for the Brewers or the Packers if possible. You know what I mean? And so he actually is the one who reached out to the Brewers for me. And that's how I got my foot in that door. And then they ended up liking me too. And then with the Packers were tough because they're waiting. Their list of people trying to sing there is very, very long. You're talking celebrities from all sides of the earth trying to sing there.
But how can they not accept no homegrown talent, man?
Well, they did. But what's wild about it is I had applied there 6 years in a row to sing at Lambeau.
Yeah.
It just wasn't happening. I didn't think it was going to. But then the year when I got to do the finals run and all that stuff, they ended up calling, and it was amazing. I was so happy when I was over the moon, and when I went there, it was like a whole new world. It was amazing.
Can you remember the first game at each one that you sang?
Yeah. So the Bucks was the Nuggets. And that was when they had Kenneth Fareed and whatnot. And he shouted me out. When I did the warm up, he was like, "Oh man, that dude's good." It was really cool. Yeah. For the Brewers, the first game I did was against the Braves, Atlanta Braves. Yeah,
and Milwaukee Braves at one point.
Yeah, at one point, right? But we did win. And the Nuggets game was a win. That game was a win. And then my first game with the Packers was against the why am I blanking? The Rams. The Rams, yeah. And that was the year that the Rams won the Super Bowl. That was the year they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's because I haven't been doing the Packers quite as long. But we won. We won that game. Yeah. So I've had some pretty good success in the win-loss column.
I just want this to go on record that he brought y'all your W's. We should be.
Hey, don't you forget it, bro. Don't you forget it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's really cool.
That must be a thrill, man, in front of thousands upon thousands of fans, dude.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest thrills. First of all, it's such a thrill. It really is. But one of the biggest thrills, because as I was doing these things, more and more fans coming out of the woodwork, talking to me, and which is really cool. It's such an honor. I was doing these Bucks games, and they were getting bigger, and I kept getting bigger and bigger games. You know what I mean? And then when the finals came around, and all that, I'm thinking they normally get Grammy winning artists to do these final. I mean, this is a worldwide broadcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's watching it around the world, and I'm like, they're not going to ask me. I hope they do, but I don't think they're going to. Yeah. And so I was kind of talking to Johnny, that guy I was telling you about, and I was like, I would love to do it, man. And he was always great, but then he ended up saying, "Yeah, we're going to go with you." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I couldn't believe it. And he's like, "Yeah, and you're going to be, worldwide televised, 200 countries." And that's when my anxiety started to kick in.
You want to hear something? Yeah. And we talked about this, but I noticed straight from your profile pic, I looked at the little terry towel, the little hand towel.
Yeah, the towel.
I knew exactly what game that was because my wife surprised me with standing only tickets, and man, was that a pretty penny.
Yeah.
But my mans, we were chanting that whole first half.
Yeah.
And literally I was becoming cool with the usher lady.
Oh,
she was such a sweetheart.
Yeah, they have a lot of good workers.
But I was bringing her into the chants, getting her going. I'm like, no, this is a vibe. We got an energy going. And that was game 3 that you sang out, right?
That was the one. Well, I did them all, but that was the first one I did for the finals, of course, because the other two were in Phoenix.
Long story short, the half came to you know what I mean? I went to the bathroom, got some treats. And when I came back, she's like, "Go ahead, sit down."
Oh man,
memories. Yeah. I got him. No, but I always
that's so cool, dude.
I thought that was cool that I was at one of the games in the finals that you sang, dude.
That is amazing. Well, now, and what's funny about that game is that was probably one of the most nervous I've ever been. when you had to know, when you know that you're going to be in front of all these people, and so many people see it, and if you mess up, you're going to be a meme.
You are.
And so I was like, I got to do this thing.
You're going to be like Fergie.
Yeah, like Fergie. Like I didn't want to. What if I was Fergie? But anyway, it ended up going really well. I was nervous, but I got through it, and it was life changing. It was amazing. Yeah. And then I obviously got to do the rest of the finals, and it was just. I want to do it again. It was amazing.
Man, do you have any type of pre-performance rituals?
Yeah, I do every time. I'm kind of a man of, I don't want to say superstition, but definitely of keeping things consistent, I guess. Yep. And so what I would do is I get up. I don't talk much. I kind of just chill. I drink a lot of water. I like to get French fries because they're real oily and they help like lubricate my voice a little bit. And then a lot of times I can't eat much because I'm so nervous. Yeah. And so I'll kind of not eat a ton. And when I get in the car, my wife goes to almost every game with me. She comes to most of the games, and she drives. And because normally I drive, but to the game she drives. And I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm just singing for like an hour. And I sing the national anthem a bunch of times. I have a couple songs that like I go to that are like theater-y songs. Yeah, to like really just help warm up the voice and the vocals and stuff. And then, and then when I get there, we do a warm up like the Bucks. We do a sound check. Yep. I got to be there about like 2 hours early or something. And then when we're in like the waiting room area and stuff, my wife will give me like this kind of neck and jaw massage. Yeah. Because I just like to try to get relaxed. You know what I mean?
MVP. Right there,
she's the real MVP, no doubt. And so I'll do that, and she'll get some essential oils and sort of massage. And then by the time the game's coming up, I mean, I built up so much nerves, but that's kind of good in a way because the adrenaline's really pumping. By the time I get out there, I'm just ready to roll, man. It's just a blast. Yeah. But I have to keep it the same. Like I got to leave at this amount of time before a game. I got to sing this many times. I got to drink this much water. And then I also always wear what everybody knows before I wear the black blazer with a Buck shirt, with some Buck shirt underneath it. And then I always yell, "Go Bucks" at the end.
There we go.
I'm a homer all the way, bro.
That's right. I'm
not ashamed of it.
You sing the national anthem, like I said, like it's captivating. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate
your voice is on a different level.
Thank you, bro.
But what does the anthem mean to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I appreciate you asking it. I think because it's funny. So like I do riff a little bit in it, like I do, some runs. Yep. And I always like to tell people what my real heart is, because some people are like, "Oh, this dude, he runs and he rips and he doesn't really care and blah blah." Like my grandpa was in the war. I had some. I've had family and I've had friends who have been in the war. I really respect like veterans and the armed forces, and it just means a lot to me. It's almost like a moment of silence in a way before the chaos. You know what I mean? Like the players will tell you that too. I've gotten the great opportunity to know some of the players, which has been amazing. And they always say that national anthem is like kind of when things start to set in, because they have their rituals too, right? They got to do all these things. They have they got to get to the ballpark, whatever it is, the ballpark or the arena or whatever they're going, and they got to do warm-ups. They got to do all this stuff. And that's the time during the anthem when they're like, "Oh, here we are. The game's about to start. Let's soak it in." That's why you see someone crying all the time too, Yeah. It's like a moment of silence. It's not silent, but it is like a moment of silence. And I kind of take pride in kind of being the voice behind the moment of silence. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And so it's like and obviously, represent the country and all that sort of stuff. And that means a lot to me. And it's just a really cool, I feel really honored to be able to kind of carry that torch and do that for those things,
That's awesome.
And I've done it for so many things. I mean, not just even those three. I've done it for the PGA. I've done it for, I've done it for different, just random events. I've done it for Greg Marcus, like random events all around the city. I did it for the mayor when Cavalier Johnson got in.
Okay, yeah.
I did it for them. I've done it for so many cool things, and it's just been like, it's such a joining song. It keeps everybody together. It's like a kumbaya. I told you I'm a kumbaya kind of guy. Sure, That's kind of what it's like. It's like everybody kind of puts their problems aside for 90 seconds and we do our thing, and I just love it. I think it's awesome.
And you know, more respect to you because, you know, but some people, like you said, will try and make this seem like, man, he's just doing it because he's...
Yeah, no, that's not true at all.
But
There's a lot of thought that goes into it.
You know, I really respect you for, like, there was no hesitation. There wasn't no thinking of something to say.
Right.
And that's how you'll truly know if, you know, your heart is where it's supposed to be. And it seems like it is.
And it is, you know, and it means a lot to me.
We're all American. You know what I mean? I take pride in this country.
That's right.
You know, these last years have been something else.
They've been tough, yeah.
It's been a divide, but it takes people still to avoid that and try to bring people together.
Yeah.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, well, see, that's why, and the thing is, too, is like, what I always think about, like during that finals round, because I also sang all the away games. I sang in the Deer District. I would sing they would have me sing the national anthem at the Deer District.
Oh, I was there several times.
That was pretty cool too, because there was so many people there. And what I always say is, you know, like you said, there is a divide in the country. There's no doubt. I mean, there's people that are always fights and there's all kinds of stuff. There's politics. There's the whole 9 yards. But during that finals round, it's like in the Deer District. And inside the arena, it's like it didn't matter at that point. It didn't. It's like you could be black, white, green, yellow, orange. It just did not matter. Like it was just like we were just together. And especially in the national anthem, like people were singing with me. They knew my riffs. They would sing with them. That was so cool. And it's like that's what I love. Like I love love. I do. So I like everyone's together. Everybody's happy. There's no fist fights. It's just everybody's just kumbaya.
Yeah, man. Well, that finals run when we finally took it that day, I went down to the Deer District and then I turned around.
Yeah,
I ended up having bronchitis, man.
Oh man!
So I turned around,
screaming too much,
and I was like, you know, come on, you know. And I turned around, watched it from home.
Sure.
Just me and my puppy at the time.
Gotcha.
And you know, when we won, I got emotional.
Yeah.
I got emotional because reflecting on the whole series to get to this point.
Yeah.
How united we became.
Oh, it was amazing.
There's only one other time that I felt that united in my life, and it was often, you know what I mean? We talk about the national anthem. I was in New York during 9/11.
Oh, were you? Okay.
And this is not to bring the conversation down, but this is a big part of the unison that was presented there. Is how I felt about that moment as Americans when we all came together. You know, I sang Mariah Carey's "Hero."
Oh, did you really?
Some firefighters.
Very cool.
Lost a couple guys.
Oh, gotcha. That's a great song too.
You know, and I got halfway through and then I started crying.
Dude, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, bro, you can't but you know, that time at the Deer District when we were making that final run.
Yeah.
It was just to get to that point and just say, "Oh my God, we're world champions." You know what I mean? Take pride in the city. I love my city. You love your city, so it's like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. It was just such a great moment. And you know, the other part of it too is like, you know, it was 50 years, man.
50 years.
It was 50 years. Like that was crazy, dude. Like,
and we get to witness it.
We get to witness it. Like I wasn't alive 50 years ago, bro. I'm 34 years old. Like I mean, heck, you know, it was just so cool. And for me, it was like when I sang that game 3 that you were at. Yeah. You know, when I did that one, that was tough to not cry during that. Yeah. Because I knew we had arrived. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was the first game in 50 years at Pfizer that was a world championship game, or you know, a NBA final. Yep. It's the Super Bowl of the NBA. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm singing it, and then when I went to go meet up with my wife after I sang, we were both just crying. Yeah. I mean, it was insane, dude. And that was just game 3. So after game 6, we were pretty darn emotional.
You know, you got to take pride in this, and you know what I mean. You know, it makes me proud that it's a homegrown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're here. You're from here.
I am, man.
Like, mind you, I was born in New York. 6 months later, I'm here. I've been raised here my whole life. Yeah, my whole life, man. Yeah. There is no, you know, but, you know, I take a lot of pride why I'm doing this platform.
Yeah, that's right.
So you sing the national anthem. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of benefits that go into when you sing it. Yeah. You know, you get to be at the games. Yeah. You get to, you know what I mean, the recognition. Yeah. How has it impacted your life outside of being on the job? Yeah. Like, do you have people that come up to you and like want to autograph or, you know, like that?
Yeah. So it's it's funny. Nobody ever asked me that. That's such a good question. And the answer is it's been incredible. I go. There's a couple places I go where I get free food. Well, shout out Five Guys. Shout out Five Guys. Shout out Five Guys in
Love
Delafield.
the peanuts.
Yeah. Shout out Five Guys in Delafield. They give me free food. And a couple other places too. But there are people almost on the daily, if I'm in public, who ask for an autograph or a picture. And that is like such a thrill. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I can't believe people recognize me. Like, it's amazing. But like, even just yesterday, I do a little work for the church. I do. I'm a church guy, and one of the things I do is I do a lot of funerals.
Okay.
Which is not always easy. I sing a lot of funerals, and I did one yesterday, and the son of the deceased woman came up to me out of the blue, and he goes, "Oh man, I heard you were singing this funeral." And he's like, "I got to tell you, this is like one of the biggest honors of our life. I can't believe like you're actually here singing for my mom's funeral." You know what I mean? And I was like, that's such a cool, like, I'm so happy that I could make somebody happy in such a moment of sadness in their life. You know what I mean? And those kinds of things happen all the time. You know what I mean? Like one guy this year, called me up and he goes, yeah, we're big into the fantasy football. And I am too, honestly. Yeah. And he goes, we're doing a fantasy football draft, and apparently I went to high school with this guy. I'm not really remembering him that well, but he goes, I'm trying to tell people that I know you, and they don't believe me and stuff. And so I'm wondering if you can come out to our house and sing the national anthem to kick off our fantasy draft. So that's what I did. I went over there. Yeah. I went over there and I sang the. I went over there and I sang the national anthem to kick off their fantasy football draft.
Bro, you a champion.
And they all got pictures with me, and like that kind of stuff that's like such a joy for me, man. I can't tell you how cool that is. Or to see a kid that like sees me and is like excited, like some random kid who I don't know who's excited to see me. Yeah. I mean, dude, that's like, I can't even imagine how that could be, but it's amazing.
I was talking to Allie Face.
Yeah.
And you guys are great public figures.
Yeah.
Basically,
oh yeah. No, yeah. That's kind of what I would call it.
And you have this presence in the community. Yeah. And the only way I could put it is like, you guys deserve that. You deserve that. And the way you accept it, it's humble.
I appreciate
for
that.
you to go out to somebody's home and not charge them this big bill.
Yeah, that's right.
But like really just to see some happiness, make their day, and selfless, dude.
Well, I mean, because part of me, I really appreciate you saying that, but part of it too is like, it almost feels like I don't deserve that. Like I don't deserve that they would be that excited. But I'm happy to do it. I think it's great.
Yeah, Allie says when she's, you know what I mean, she's always honored, you know.
Oh, she's great, yeah.
She was saying, sometimes they'll bring up conversation from the morning on the radio, but I got the bobblehead.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm hitting myself on the thing because I would have had it.
Dude, that was... So the finals is over or whatever, and I'm kind of getting booked to do a lot of cool gigs, which was so cool. I did Summerfest. I opened for Shaq Diesel, the DJ. Yeah! Shaq himself is a DJ, and he came to Summerfest, and I opened for him. Me and DJ Shauna opened for him. But anyway, all of a sudden, things are starting to die down a little bit from the finals, and all of a sudden I get this email from this guy who's the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame owner. And he's like, yeah, due to your success, we would love to like model a bobblehead after you. And I was like, I could not believe. I was floored. Yeah. I was like, yeah, bro. Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? It was the most amazing honor.
I'll know I really made it when I get a bobblehead.
Yours is going to come. You're going to get it. You'll see. Yeah, and it sings too. You press a button and it sings the national anthem.
Seriously.
So it's just the coolest, man. I was so
What were your emotions like when you opened up that?
Oh my gosh, dude. I was you have no idea. Because I was with my wife, and I was
like, I'm so happy.
And she thought I was kidding. I was like, you'll never believe what just happened. Yeah. They're making a bobble, and they're mass selling. It's not just like for me; they're selling it. Yeah, and it sold well too. And it's just, it's beyond comprehension. I honestly could not have seen that.
Can I? Because you know how bobbleheads are.
Dude, it's like a statue. It's like you're a statue.
And then, the people go quick. And
yes, dude.
Your bobblehead was selling pretty high.
Yeah, it's like hotcakes, bro. Man! I'm not complaining. That was a great moment. That was a great moment.
Is this something you see yourself doing the rest of your life?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and it's funny because you're almost wondering, like, when's the train going to stop? I say, why does it have to stop? Like, let's just have some fun. And I'm always going to be a fan of these sports. I'm always going to be a fan of this community. I'm always going to be the same old Ben, you know. And if I can help it, I'm going to be doing it. Yeah, I'm going to continue to do it. If they'll have me, of course, I'm going to continue to do it. You know, I'll continue to do the anthem for whatever. I got a bunch of them booked for the summer. Of course, you know, even not sports related, I have them booked. You know, I just did there was just a fundraiser a couple weeks ago that was for kids with cancer, and I went over there and I sang a couple songs, and one including be the national anthem and things like that. That's an honor. I'll be doing that forever as long as I can do it. As long as I can breathe there, I'm going to do that. So,
well, man, you know, like it's the pride inside of that, man. Yeah. For me, I'm gonna tell you like this. That's pretty legendary, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Like,
I appreciate
this long of a run. Usually, people they fall off. They fall off.
And I had a couple people tell me like, "Oh, it's probably just going to be a 15 minutes of fame thing," and I'm like, "Oh, that's fine. It's been a lot longer than 15 minutes.
It's been a long. I'm not complaining. 2014.
It's been a while. I'm not complaining." And so I'm like, that's what I say too. And it's I'm amazed. It's really cool.
What type of legacy do you hope to leave behind?
You know, I think mainly I want to be inspiring to people, you know what I mean, in a positive way. You know, we brought up conflict before. We brought up just how the world isn't always on the same page, and I want to be that peacemaker guy who everyone sees and they're like, that's the big dude who likes to give everybody a hug.
Teddy bear.
The teddy bear. They call me Gentle Ben sometimes. Yeah. But I just want to be, you know, I want to be like a public figure who brings people together and is just a positive force. You know,
it is, man.
And that's my goal. That's my goal.
Honestly, sitting here with you and you just opening up, realizing that we graduated the same year, man.
That is wild, though. That is wild.
Get out of here, bro.
It is wild, though, man.
Man, so I know you want to do this the rest of your life.
Yeah.
In the next 5 years, what are your plans? Plans for your vocal school? Yeah. What are the plans like? Is there any event that you're really trying to push?
Yeah, I think it's mainly like, you know, right now, you know, something cool that just happened was there's like a Christian vocal competition that I ended up getting top 10 for, which is kind of cool. It's out in Iowa, which is a nationwide. It's kind of like American Idol for Christian singing. Yeah, and it's like I made the top 10. Out of, you know, the hundreds that have auditioned or whatever, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And you know, the winner gets like money and all that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
And so I need public voting. So I'm always like, vote.
Oh, let me know.
But it's that's on May 20th is the finale. But it's there's just stuff like that pops up that I kind of just run to, and but I think the bread and butter is always going to be them Bucks. You know.
Yeah, man.
Like I'm always wanting to do the Bucks, and I think that's the best. And anything Milwaukee related, but I think 5 years from now, it's like I always tell my wife, like at some point it'd be cool to win a Grammy. I want to win a Grammy.
Hey, don't manifest
that's a crazy dream, but I don't know. You never know.
You talk it into existence.
Yeah, that's
man.
why I say it. I mean, why not?
I'll tell you, man. A year and a half ago, sobriety.
That's amazing, bro.
And literally everything I've spoken about that I was gonna do. This is the first time in my life that there's actions behind my words.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about, man.
And it's like, you know what I mean? You just got to keep pushing and keep manifesting. The vision keeps on coming. When you're in the mode, bro, when you're on your path, and you know this well than anyone, everything just falls.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's been a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Having you on here, man. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I'm happy to be here, man.
What type of advice would you give to aspiring singers coming up?
Yeah, I would say my advice is keep working, and as my favorite quote, Rocky Balboa, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, man. Yeah. Because if you told me 10 years ago that I'd be here with you right now or singing the national anthem in front of 200 countries, bro. Yeah. I wanted to give up back then, man. I had anxiety. I couldn't do anything. I can't stress that enough. It wasn't like fake, like, oh, I'm a little stressed. It was like the whole like a hermit not leaving your house thing. And then I'm singing in front of 200 countries. That's a pretty big change. Yeah. And that's because I didn't give up. I wanted to give up. And so my advice is keep moving forward. It ain't about how hard you hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I love that. I love
I'm a Rocky
that
fan.
quote. Yeah, bro. Where he's talking to his son all grown and he's in the middle of the street.
That's like my favorite quote. You know, I love it, and I say it quite a bit. And you know, if I could think of something smarter, I would, but I like that quote.
Shout out to Illy. He was one of the first 2 interviews I did.
Who was that?
Illy. His name's
Illy.
Michael.
Gotcha.
But he did a video and I was a cameo.
Yeah.
And he used that quote
did
in
he
the
really?
beginning of his video.
Yeah.
And I was the referee in the video.
Oh, were you really?
So
How cool is that?
It was awesome.
That's amazing, bro.
I'll show you the song
yeah,
after.
you have to show
but,
me, yeah. That quote, it's just like, I really believe in it, man. It's because life is, as he says in the quote, life ain't all sunshine and rainbows, man. We all go through stuff.
We all go through it.
Like, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel those feelings. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel hurt and discouraged by that, but it's what you do with it, man. Like you can either give up, you can either sit down and say, hey, I'm done, and take your ball and go home, or you can move on, man, and move forward and be the best version of you can be.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You got to push forward.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to feel sorry
That's
for
exactly
you. And
right.
that's literally what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down
you
to,
know?
bro. That's and then you become inspirational.
Yep.
You know, you being a year and a half sober, that's inspirational to me. I mean, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you could have given up too. You know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of stories like that.
You know, and you know, it's a journey.
Yeah.
But you know how you say you're not superstitious, but you believe.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel right now. Why would I go back?
Why would you go backwards? Yeah.
Why would I go backwards when so much is happening?
That's right.
And I love living in the moment.
That's right.
I appreciate you coming on here, man.
It's been a blast.
You're one of many great people who have, you know, sat on the other side of me.
Absolutely, bro.
And for that, I thank you.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
of course. It's been my pleasure, man.
So, I'm guessing you know, you do events.
Yeah.
What are ways that people can contact you if they were interested in setting you up for an event?
Yeah, for sure. So I a lot of times it is social media. I'm on Instagram, B Tajnai on Instagram. I'll respond to DMs as much as I can, and then also I'm on Facebook too as Ben Tajnai, and a lot of people reach out to me that way, and I end up I pretty much look into everything. So if anyone's interested, I like to show up and have some fun, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, well, again, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
And you know, it's been a pleasure, man.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Keep getting after it.
Yeah. All right, Spearhead out.